it up, back it in so I can begin.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing, guys?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm great. We have actually surprised. Normally, when we post a thumbnail, right, for a show, we don't really get much comments on it. But we got a lot of comments off of posting this show with you in the thumbnail. I was a little surprised just how much people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there." And let's see, we have nobody. So not yet. But they'll be here.
Does it show up if they're watching it on YouTube itself?
I wonder if it was. Is it on YouTube, Aaron?
Yeah, I had the tab up.
People watch your back, don't they? Like the UK for the UK lot, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So,
people in the UK are still sleeping, and we actually have a lot of people that in the group from all over the world, like the Netherlands, Germany, Australia. I don't know if anybody's in Japan, but surprisingly, people actually watch this show all over the place, which blows my mind sometimes.
You got Hero that's in Japan.
Oh.
Yeah. He was the one who commented, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Nice.
Hi, Hero, if you're watching.
So we have Sean House. I'm going to let you tell us who you are, what you do, what you have done, because as most people know, I butcher it badly. Say Aaron. I've been friends with him for a while now. I still don't know how to describe how he works, what he does.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Thank you, Chris. And thank you guys for having me here today. This is fun. Yeah. And by the way, I'm representing.
There you go, brother.
My name is Sean House. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. I am a nerd from way the hell back. Saw Star Wars in '77 at 8 years old, and it had a profound impact on me. And I was building models because I grew up without a TV. My mom kicked it out when we were like 2 years old. And so I built models all the time. They were crappy, but I built them, Right. And I got an X-Wing for Christmas that year, the MPC X-Wing. And I actually took my time with it. And I was so proud of the little freaking R2-D2. But I was just absolutely amazed. I was like, oh, I can actually do a decent job on these things. And then flash forward to a year later when all the new Star Wars cards are coming out. And there was an orange card. The orange bordered cards came out, and it showed behind the scenes. And there was this one picture of a gentleman who I now know and is a friend, Steve Gawley, working on a Star Destroyer model. And I went, wait, you can grow up and still build models? This is awesome. Yeah. And so anyway, I wrote to ILM multiple times over the course of my being a teenager and whatnot. And after, Jedi, and it became pretty clear that George wasn't going to, at that time, going to be releasing any more movies. I became enamored with the U.S. Navy, did that, worked in naval aviation for 6 years active duty, and worked on the SH-60 Bravo Seahawk on the electronic systems. And during that time, I was stationed mostly down in San Diego, and I helped start a skydive drop zone. And so I flung myself willingly out of perfectly flying aircraft. And one of my friends had an accident, and I took him. One of my other friends was killed in that accident, and I took him through physical therapy, and he convinced me to chase my dream. Anytime I came up with something that, like tossing it out the window or whatnot, he came up with the perfect argument against it. And so I separated from the Navy in September of '94, and I moved up to Northern California to be right where Industrial Light and Magic was. And I beat my head on the brick wall for a while until finally somebody took pity and didn't want to clean up my blood on the ground anymore, I guess. And and so I started day playing at ILM. and I was also working out in town on live action films. A little bit of a rarity in that. I'm a rare goose in that aspect, that people, you pick live action, television, or movies or commercials. But I just sort of kind of opened myself up to all of it, and became a fabricator across many disciplines. I just kept on learning and making things, and so I have a good depth of film in my background over the past 27 years. And I started work when ILM moved its operation from San Rafael into the Presidio in San Francisco. The special effects in the model shop stayed up north in San Rafael. And in 2006, that spun off from ILM as a separate entity altogether, having nothing to do with George. And that was Kerner Optical. Kerner Optical, for better or for worse, lasted around 5 years, just a little shy of that. And it crashed and burned. And so I gathered a bunch of the ILM people around and said, listen, is there another good 5 years here? And everybody said, yeah. And so we formed 3210 Studios, and I was one of the founding members of 3210, and was the shop fabrication and model supervisor. And I had saved a lot of the stuff from ILM, including the old vacuum former that Lauren had found back in 1975. And he said, that thing was old back then. And it's still going strong. The Greenie Meanie.
Didn't it like cause almost a lot of injuries? I remember talking with you at Wonderfest about that, and it was somebody else was mentioned. Oh, Bill was talking about it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was pretty dangerous to work with, right?
Well, it's a vacuum former. If you're not used to, or I should say, a vacuum package former. Okay. So when you get like the blister packs with your toothbrushes in them and everything like that, that's vacuum form. Right. And they come in all different shapes and sizes and formats of how it rolls. Like sometimes the acrylic or the styrene will come on a roll, and you pull it into the machine. Other times you just take sheets and you clamp them down. This one is a sheet one, but it's got pneumatics that go up and down. And then also the pneumatics trundle the heat, the ceramic heat mechanism over that, and then it rises up. And if you have your fingers anywhere in the way, they're getting smashed. And so John Goodson wrote some really big warnings on it. Do not place your fingers here. Do not leave it in the up position. All this stuff. Right. So then the other thing is like somebody would walk by, not knowing that somebody had just gotten off of it a couple of minutes earlier, and the lid of this thing heats up. I mean, it melts freaking plastic. Yeah. Right. Well, the metal lid retains its heat for a while. So if somebody walks by and goes, "Hey, John, hang on."
So do you have photos of that in what in that Dropbox?
No.
Okay. Oh, I don't. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that you sent me those.
I think Adam Savage has talked about it as well, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Yeah. The Greenie Meanie, and like I said, they bought it used for Star Wars, and all of the X-wing and TIE fighters were done on that machine, as well as parts. And yes, and it's still functional.
Okay,
it's been rebuilt a couple of times, but as far as like the ceramics and the tungsten wires, after a while they just get brittle. So it's like changing tires in a car. It doesn't change the fact that the car is original.
Yeah, I rewatched. I wasn't able to make it to your panel at Wonderfest. I wasn't feeling good. I went back to my room, but I rewatched your video on YouTube, and I found it really fascinating that you basically got your job at ILM because you worked at the bar across the street, right? And I mean, honestly, sometimes it's not what I'd say most of the time, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I almost kind of feel like you're kind of almost like we are, because the only way we've gotten to know some of these people is through the channel, through Facebook. And like, I kind of feel like that kind of is the same thing as when you were who doesn't know the bartender? You know, like across the street
Right.
from ILM. You know what I mean? It's like you form
Well,
friendships.
that's how I found Sean. You were so down to earth, and you would talk to us like model makers, and you would
Yeah.
just
Well,
just
you
chat
are.
to us. Yeah, and it was wonderful. Yeah.
Well, when I first, I didn't actually meet you for like a day or two or something, like this first day, but I kept seeing you surrounded by a bunch of people. Like every time we were standing somewhere talking, there was a whole bunch of people just standing there fixated on what you were saying. And I didn't really know who you were, to be honest. And then somehow we got introduced and you're like, oh, you're Chris. Like,
Yeah.
okay, how do you know me? You know, so it was funny. But
and then within an hour and a half, you had this T-shirt in my hot little hands.
Yes.
And then we were taking photos on the stairs. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I get free stuff from Chris.
Yeah.
I gotta know him.
What'd you say,
Aaron?
Aaron?
By the way, go ahead.
I just said, I get free stuff from Chris. Got to be friends with him.
Actually, I had 2 shirts to bring. I don't know what happened to the other ones. It went to somebody else as well. But yeah, Wonderfest. I was great to meet you at Wonderfest. It was just like getting to know you, hearing a lot of your stories. We had to have you on for a show for sure. Like, I'm sorry it took so long. It's just been busy lately, and shows have been a little bit not as happening as usual. But yeah, so like we generally talk a lot about the models, right? And
right.
I know you did a lot of model making with other movies. Can you like give us some names of some of the movies that you had worked on?
Sure. AI, Planet of the Apes, Transformers, Dark of the Moon, Transformers, Rise of something. I did Star Wars Rogue One. I did Star Wars. Yeah, and I did Rise of Skywalker. My friend that's in the picture with Lauren and I and the Millennium Falcon on the front page of this thing. That's my friend Todd DeMario. Hey, Todd, you're watching, I know. And he and I and a group of guys, we actually built the planet Kijimi and blew it up for Rise of Skywalker. That was an actual practical effect. ILM stitched 2 separate explosions together, so it became 13 seconds long. It looked, I think it looked really good. They wanted the planet not to blow apart like Alderaan in a spray of sparks and billowing gas. They wanted it to rupture and split from the inside. And the other thing is that they wanted at least 8 seconds of explosion, which is a very long time for an explosion, because if you ever watch these things behind the scenes, it goes pop and it's a cloud of dust. That's it. So you use the high-speed cameras. Oh, and that's Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Those were the Doomtown houses. And we replicated the 2x4 construction of these houses in scale. So we turned these beautiful, big, 16, 18-inch by 3-inch planks of Doug fir into toothpicks. Do you remember the Bugs Bunny when Marvin the Martian was there, and they go to this planet and they take a tree and they put it on a lathe and go and spin it down to a toothpick? That's what we did. We actually made more sawdust than we actually made the individual pieces. But we had to make it like this because when we blew it apart, or I should say when Jeff Herron and John McLeod and his crew blew it apart, it had to separate out. We used little micro pin nailers to join things together as well. And then we would reinforce it with hot glue from the backside. But the micro pin nailers are just the 23 gauge suckers. And then, they had det cord throughout the whole thing. So the det cord would make everything just crack. And then within a fraction of a second, Jeff had everything all timed with computer timers and micro timers. Wow. They would hit it with these huge 180-gallon pressurized air tanks and blow the stuff forward through camera.
Now, how many tests did you do before you built all the homes?
I couldn't tell you, because we were testing the entire time. Most of the time for film, you're testing right up until the day of shooting. You're constantly tweaking it in. You're bringing it to the VFX supervisors. They're like, I love this section over here. This I'm not so sure about. I don't want to see any of that dust there. You're like, well, that's part of it. And they're like, well, I don't want it. And so you're constantly testing. So like the chimneys and the brick walls there, they were actually ultracal. And yeah, ILM stage.
Yeah.
They're ultracal, which is a type of plaster stone that you mix up. And then once we cast them in silicone, cast the stone in the silicone molds, we'd have to take them out and then carefully cut them without it shattering and glue it onto the buildings. But when it got hit, oh, hey, look, Jason. Hi, Jason. And Bill George in the model
I have
shop.
a question for you. When let's just say you built this whole house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And something goes wrong with the film or something doesn't work right and you blew this thing up. What then?
That's a good question. With these guys, there was so much testing. We actually had a long lead up because we had 3 sets depending upon the camera angles and where the explosion was pushing towards. So we knew pretty much exactly what this thing was going to do. But there's been other times, for instance, Pacific Rim. There's a scene when the mechanoids are battling the kaiju, and there's this big downtown Hong Kong battle, and the mech goes to throw a punch at the kaiju and misses, and the punch goes through the building, through all the office desks and everything like that, and stops really just short of a desk and goes dink, and it hits a Newton's cradle that starts going. We only had one take on that, and we had one take on another sequence, and then another take on another sequence. So we only had one shot of getting this. And that morning, somebody from production, in other words, not 3210 Studios, said, hey, the shape of that ram is not like the fist. Can you make it like the fist so that we don't have to do as much CG, comping that out and everything? And our special effects guys went, okay. And they made it such that it was flat in the front. And what happened was that as this ram was sent off down the track through all this rug and carpet and ceiling tile and everything like that, because it became flat, all this stuff came underneath it, and it ground to a halt halfway through the set.
Oh.
You want to talk about crapping yourself?
Yeah.
You're just like, we only had that as one shot. And so, hello.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, man.
Good. Hey, John, what's up? Aaron?
Hey.
Chris, I thought you forgot about me, dude. It was me. I was like, Denise was like, aren't you supposed to be on the show? I'm like, oh, shoot. So, yeah.
No, I sent you an email.
Yeah, you did.
I figured I was going to have to call you to wake you up.
I know.
Sean, this is Michael. Michael, this is Sean.
Hey.
Michael, pleasure.
Nice to meet you, too. Sorry I missed you guys at Wonderfest. John?
Oh, man. I'll be back. I had a great time.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you go, you always go back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, as I was talking to my wife afterwards, and she enjoyed the heck out of it too. And it's like I think I said it during the talk. Every now and then, you find people from your own tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we all felt that way in the model shop.
Yeah.
That we were part of the same tribe. And I went there and I talked to Bill about that, and he agreed with me too. So,
well, speaking on that, last night at dinner with my wife, I said, "Oh, well, we're gonna have a live stream another late tomorrow night," and she goes, "Oh, with your nerd herders." So I hadn't heard anybody call it nerd herders. So.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with your wife.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Need to make a shirt of that.
That we may have to make a shirt of. Yeah. But Jonathan Faber also said the same thing. He went home and he told his wife, I found my people. He He the same experience as you had, you know.
Yeah.
Sean, what happened with the with that shot then? When the
We grabbed. I mean, I had all the model makers, or the majority of the model makers that had worked on the set, because we were dressing it that morning. You couldn't dress it ahead of time because of all of the stuff. The tanks had to be pressurized. You don't want to leave that stuff overnight, and so it has like the shuttle that created all that damage. It had to rest at the end of the set. So when it was charged is when it was all the way back. So we have to go in, they have to charge it, and then we set up the individual pieces on the inside. And so therefore I had a whole crew of guys and gals there. And when it happened, we got together and I said, okay, some of you saw what happened, some of you didn't. Here's the fact of the matter. We have to rebuild this set, even though we only have one of them. And we have to try to get the shot off before lunch.
oh my God.
And to their credit, everybody pulled together. There was a couple of little things that we figured out shortcut wise, and we were able to pull it off. And the shot worked, as you saw.
Did you have to fashion some sort of plow or anything so it didn't get under the ram?
We actually did like a little what's the best way I can put it, like a cow catcher on the front of it.
Yeah.
So and that worked. So yeah, then we did the shot in the afternoon, and same thing happened. So we had to redo that one as well. The third shot went off great, but yeah, that was an incredibly stressful day.
So how much are you aware how much CG they had to add for that specific scene in the final film?
Hardly. It's the hand. Everything else is pretty much in camera.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And that's why they want to do this stuff, because all of a sudden they have a 90% completed shot. And they have the tracking markers that are on the shuttle itself, and they're just going through, and this stuff is bouncing off of it, creating sparks in the ceiling and everything, and papers flying through the air, and and we had little jokes. We had Easter eggs on one desk. We had a picture of Guillermo del Toro right next to John Knoll, and they were about that big. Things like that. So.
And did that make it into the scene so you can see it, or was it
goes by so fast you don't see it? Actually, I'm trying to remember if I think that they're oblique when when it comes up to the one with the Newton cradle, because that was a full-size desk that we actually had a real Newton's cradle on, and I had to rig the whole thing up with tungsten wire and everything like that, which is 0003 wire. And but yeah, I think it's on there, but again, it's at such an oblique you can't see the pictures, if I'm not mistaken.
That's fantastic. I love hearing about Easter eggs that you guys have the ability to add everywhere.
Yeah, they're always there.
Sean, can we talk about the Apple box that everyone signed, that you had everyone sign?
Yeah, that one. The Apple box, Sean, that you're referring to is an ILM stage Apple box, and it was a full-size Apple box. And we held the reunions for the original ILM crew for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, and then the 40th anniversary of Jedi. And we held them over the course of several years, obviously. And I brought out the Apple box, and I also had a big Magician's logo, that sat in the main lobby. And we had everybody sign it for posterity and everything. And what happened was that this past weekend, there was a fundraising auction for what is going to be known as the Saga Museum. And what it does is it takes Rancho Obi-Wan, which is Steve Sansweet's collection in Northern California, in Petaluma here, which is in the Guinness Book of World Records as being the largest Star Wars memorabilia collection in private hands. And it is going to combine it.
Though. I'm
What's
not
that?
sure that that's actually true, but that's okay. I'm just kidding. I know Steve very well, by the way.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Well, it would combine the collections with 3 other collections: that of Gus Lopez,
Yeah, he's awesome.
Duncan Jenkins, and Lisa and Michael. Is it? They're somewhere out in the Midwest, I believe, and each of those groups are super collectors that have like the most amazing collections.
They have everything down to like
yeah.
cereal boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Gus, he gets into the cereal boxes, and he's got almost an entire screen use 3PO suit. He's missing like 1 or 2 things on it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the idea is to combine all the collections together and make a museum that the public can go to and do it in a true museum setting, such that these things are honored for the influence that they've had globally. And so they're raising funds for it right now. And Julian's auction, if you've heard of Sotheby's, Julian's is right there with them. They have a global reach. And for the past couple of years, they've been holding an auction at the end of Comic-Con in San Diego. And last weekend was the 27th, and it was the end of Comic-Con. And George Lucas spoke, I think, the night before. Was that correct, John? It was one of those times.
He did. Yeah.
And everybody that put in. So what happened was that there was a whole bunch of items donated to this auction to raise money for the Saga museums. And Steve Sansweet and Ann Newman approached me because they knew I had things. One of the things that I put in 3 things. One of them was this Apple box that was signed by 99 original ILM and Lucasfilm employees, including Marsha Lucas, which is such a rarity. It got a pretty penny. It
George on there?
What's that?
Is George on there?
He is not.
Okay.
He probably wouldn't. If he knew Marsha was on there, probably wouldn't.
I was just going to say, if you get one or the other on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It is wonderful to look at, and I don't know how you managed to get everyone to use the same white pen.
It was a silver Sharpie, and I had 5 of them.
Oh, okay.
Chris, why don't you pull it up? So, come on, man, do your job.
Yeah, you should have been tapping away
You
behind the
pull it
scenes,
up.
Chris.
I'll share it.
There you go.
That'd probably be better. It'd be easier for that way, for you to find it and show it. That I could show it.
Because I remember you telling me about it at Wonderfest, Sean, and I was like, wow, like all those names on it, but I didn't quite imagine the impact of when you see it. There isn't a millimeter left on it for another signature.
No, and yet you can still make out everybody's signature. There is, including Marsha, there is 10 Academy Award, actually 8 Academy Award winners and 2 nominees for that have signed that. So, I mean, just having that amount of Academy Award winners for different things, sound design, editing, which is what Marsha got, visual effects, just everything is just really, really incredible. And it went for the hammer price was $10,000. The total paid was $12,800.
Wow.
And they're such clear signatures too. They're not like, sometimes people just like scribble, but those are really.
Yeah.
Well, that. It looks like they all signed it on the same day. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's Joe Johnston. You can see that, and John Berg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one as well. I don't know if Chris saw it when he was down here. It's was sent individually to a lot of the artists, and the only person I didn't have on there till just recently was Steve Golly. And I was able to get his signature like 2 months ago in person. I took it on the plane with all those signatures. It's got Dennis Mirren and all the ILMers are on it. I mean, a lot of them that are since passed away.
Yeah, there's a bunch, unfortunately, who have passed away on here. Pete Ronzani, right down by Renee's signature. Pete Ronzani, of course, has passed away. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. unfortunately.
Are they your feet, Sean?
I'm sorry?
Are these your feet?
That actually, is that my feet? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I like the wear on it too. It's like really worn in, and that's
I pulled. I mean, literally, I had gotten it in the auction, the Kerner optical auction, with a bunch of other stuff I bought, and it was pulled right off the stage, put into the auction, and
That
then
is so cool.
then I turned around and had everybody sign it.
Now, Sean, I have a question for you. When I was looking at this earlier, what's the chainsaw Charlie? What's that from?
Charlie Chainsaw Bailey. That was a nickname given to him. I can't remember by who, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it had something to do with both one of the race cars that he drove. It sounded like a chainsaw.
Okay.
And the other thing is that at one point in time, they were carving a big foam sculpture or something like that, and it wasn't going as fast. So Charlie went in the back and came out with a chainsaw and started sculpting with the chainsaw on this foam. So
nice.
I believe
one of my favorite pictures of Charlie is when he's working. I think he's on Attack of the Clones, and he's doing the traditional ILM sort of the streaking where you just slop it all on and get a cloth and wipe it down real quick and get the the streaks. And I think the bottle of a mix of wash or whatever he's using is just called Floquil, like just leftovers or something. It's literally like Floquil, like slurry or something.
Gack.
Yeah.
Charlie's a great guy too. It was awesome meeting Charlie. He's super down to earth like a lot of you guys, but it was a pleasure meeting him.
Yeah, Charlie's awesome. He unfortunately he moved away, so I can't go out and meet him for a glass of wine or go meet him at Sears Point Raceway.
Yeah, he's up in Seattle now, I think.
No, he's in Oregon.
Oregon,
by Silverton. Yeah.
So did you, as people were coming into the shop, you just kind of had that there for people to sign, or how did you get all these signatures together?
So at the ILM facility, the Kerner facility, let's call it. We had a place called Main Stage, and that's where the majority of the work was done as far as filming goes. And so for the reunions, we would have that set up with the catering, with the bar, and then with stage and seating and everything. And as they came through, we just had tables set up in the front, and people were walking by, and we just had a sign that says, "Please sign for posterity." Nice. And and then Steve Sansweet would put in some stuff for display. Gus Lopez put in stuff for display and everything like that for each one was dedicated to whatever the film was. So like Gus had a bunch of the camera clappers, and he brought ones for Star Wars for the Star Wars reunion, Empire for the Empire reunion, and Revenge of the Jedi for Return of the Jedi. Awesome. So we were very specific. We had the Blue Harvest stuff for Empire. Was it Empire? Was Blue Harvest?
Empire, yeah.
No, Blue Harvest was Return.
I think it was Empire.
Empire, wasn't it?
Blue Harvest, I think it was Empire.
What was Return of the Jedi then?
Because they were wearing the Blue Harvest jackets in Norway, right?
No, they weren't. They were wearing the race car zip up things, and it had the Darth Vader with the flames behind the helmet.
Okay.
Yeah. And it said Norway unit on that. So they didn't come up with the fake name until Jedi.
Right. So Aaron, I sent you a couple pictures. You had recently attended the 50th anniversary of ILM, right?
Yes. Yeah. That was amazing. They held it down at in the Presidio at LDAC, or Letterman Digital Art Center, and on their motion control stage or motion capture stage. So that's a fairly small stage. So there wasn't a ton of people there, but the place was packed. Yeah. And Rose was there. Joe Johnston was there. Dennis Murin, of course. John Knoll. There a bunch of them. And it was a really Kathleen Kennedy was there, and Janet Lewin, who's the vice president of ILM. So it was a pretty packed event with a lot of luminaries there. And
Oh wow!
This has been Ben Burt, right?
This is Ben Burt. This was last Wednesday.
Okay.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was up at Skywalker Sound at the ranch, and he and I worked together all day making noise on one of my instruments that I have created for the Grateful Dead called the Beam instrument. And it was originally made for the movie Apocalypse Now.
That I
people have used it for other films such as Star Trek, the motion picture. Captain, we're entering the nebula now. Boing, and it rockets through your stomach and everything. So it can make it's a monochord, but it can make there we go. So that's Mickey Hart, and of course Bill, God rest you, Bill. And Mickey commissioned me to make the first beam for Bill Walton, and then after that I made 7 more for Mickey, and he's going to be playing at least one of them. I haven't seen the stage setup for Golden Gate Park this weekend. Starting tomorrow, they're Dead and Company is doing 3 shows each day, or 3 shows, one each day. They're expecting a minimum of 60,000 people a day in the park, and it's for the 50th anniversary of the Grateful Dead.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Sean, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So being at the ranch, I know I had the opportunity to talk to John Noel a little bit about it, and I know Chris has talked to him about it, but I can't remember, where are they at Skywalker Ranch when it comes to a lot of the archive stuff? Is a lot of that stuff already being transferred to the museum, Lucas's museum, or what's going on? Because I almost had the opportunity to go to the ranch. I've been to the ranch several times to the gate, and the only one time that I got in there, some of these guys know the story, I left there in handcuffs. So I got arrested for trespassing at Skywalker Ranch when I was 19. And I finally, the president of licensing at Skywalker at the Presidio was going to get me in there and tour me around. But he said with all the construction, everything, it's a mess right now. So we just haven't been able to go tour it. But I just wanted to know where they were at with all that stuff. Is it too late pretty much at the ranch now with all that?
So it's a complicated answer. I apologize in advance. To the point about the ranch is I worked up there for 6 months ending in February of this year. I was working directly for the museum. I was working with Nelson Hall and Jillian Liebert, who was the second costume supervisor on the prequels. And we were researching all of the models from the prequels, from Indiana Jones, from all the stuff. This is me fixing a TIE Interceptor when it came back from Japan on one of the tours.
Nice.
But anyway, I was hired as a researcher, which is amazing. And we got to, deal with the stuff that we've known and loved for all these years.
Right.
So what has happened is this. In 2013, George, of course, sold ILM and Lucasfilm to Disney. What wasn't included in the sale was the physical assets of Star Wars and George's art collection, much of it which has been on display at ILM in the city, in the Presidio, and as well as all over the ranch.
Right.
And so they've been building the place down in LA. And yes, some of the materials were transferred down there. Some of the models, lightsabers, full-size land speeders, stuff like that. And it was really going. But what happened is that there's been a shift in the past 6 months as far as what the focus and mission. I shouldn't say there's been a shift. There's been a change in how they're approaching the focus and the mission of the museum, which is brilliant. I don't know if you got to see George speak about it at Comic-Con.
I did.
A temple for the people's artwork. I was like, damn, it's really good.
Yeah.
And so what's going on though is that when they're building the museum, yes, it may be 300,000 square feet.
Yeah.
But it didn't contain a storage facility. So, but the museum hierarchy, I guess, had decide to buy a facility that was old and run down to store the stuff at, and then it became obvious that it was probably going to be too much. And as George said, listen, they've been stored up at the ranch, for the past 48 years. Yeah. Let's keep it up there unless it's in the displays.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the stuff is being shipped back up to the ranch.
Wow.
And they're backing off some of the other research and boxing up, because they want this museum to be, as soon as possible out the gate, a certified art museum. And one of those, and it takes 10 years total. And so they'll have 5 years pre-museum opening. And so they only have to maintain the standards for 5 more years. And that enables them 2 things. One of them is to take loans in from other museum collections. And the other thing is it enables them, other museums that are certified, to borrow things from the Lucas Museum. You have to figure that just the Star Wars archives, Star Wars and Indiana Jones, I should say Lucasfilm archives, because it is what was Lucasfilm. They had over 130 line items down to the box level of inventoried material. And when I say down to the box level, you had Home Depot pallet racks that would go up, 5-6 levels. And on each one, there were stacks of like banker boxes. And one of these boxes would say Jedi comlinks. You'd open it up and there'd be 50 Jedi comlinks in there specific to the characters in the movies.
Jeez.
And so what happened was that time, the box only had one number. Again, because it was an archives, it wasn't museum assets at that point. So we had to go through and identify where this who used this comlink, who used that comlink, that sort of thing. And so the thing is that it was estimated, conservatively estimated, that museum, actually, the Lucas Archives itself, is actually over 350,000 items, if not pushing 500,000. And that does not include his fine art collection, all of his paintings from Norman Rockwell, all of his original Mad magazines and Snoopy comic strips, to what is it, Diego Garcia? I mean, he's got so many fine artists. It's just incredible.
Collector.
Yeah, I mean, as he said in the this weekend at Comic-Con, he's been collecting art since he was in college.
Yeah.
So you were involved in repairing some of these items?
Yep, that's me at Kerner Optical.
Okay.
Just want to say, real fast, Sean, thank you for that answer. That was fantastic answer to my question, dude. I mean, on a whole other level. Thank you for that.
Cheers, absolutely.
Before we move on, Sean, at Wonderfest, we were talking about how you were also needing to thin the herd as far as the bigger set pieces and some things that couldn't be stored. Now that it's being stored back at the ranch, is that still...
I can't, Aaron, I wish I could answer that. I don't know. I'm not involved in the decision-making process on that level now.
Okay.
And because of the fact that it's there already, I don't know. There are huge models and set pieces. I mean, just ginormous that could never, in my mind, be displayed at a museum, just because they would just take up too much space for one thing.
Right.
So.
Very cool. I'm excited that they're back at the archives.
Well, there'll be a flight I'll be taking out there.
I was going to say, now that would be a cool place to go visit, man.
Yeah, and now please understand, so that, and I am only saying this so that you're not disappointed and ready to see what you're gonna see.
Yeah,
it is not just Star Wars Indiana Jones.
For sure.
That is only the truth of the matter is it's a small part of the museum compared to the museum overall. Yeah. And George is taking this museum, as you can see from the outside shape of it, which is unlike anything that's been built before. He is taking everything to the nth level as far as your experience when you walk through the door.
Yeah.
So picture Disney Imagineer level stuff that you're going to be going through, and not just seeing art, but experiencing it.
Yeah, I know.
I can't get into the details because of NDAs, but
Yes.
it is going to be amazing.
That's
I really stand behind his whole idea for creating this section of art, narrative art, and elevating it to the point that other art is seen at.
Is there a fee to get in this place, or is it like a library, or do you even know?
There is going to be a library. I know that the library and the museum will be accessible to USC students for free.
Okay.
So I imagine when they say that, I imagine that there is going to be a fee to get into the museum. But the library and the archives themselves are going to be open to researchers worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, we just gotta be researchers. That's all.
There you go.
I'm ready. Get my,
All right,
get my name tag. We'll print up name tags that say research, model research. We'll go there.
Can I go? I was one of the first 3.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I just can't even imagine just being able to go back, and all the people that are really deep into, like, this is a models channel. So people like John and the rest of these guys here that are so deep into these models, and to be able to finally, they're not stuck away, a lot of them anyways, in the archives, where sure there's a lot of, images, but you can actually, you'll be really able to see a lot of things that have never been able to be, shot before.
Many of them haven't been on tour for what, 15, 20 years?
Yeah.
Exactly. And some of them haven't been on tour.
Yeah.
And one of our own that you guys know very well, John Goodson, he is the lead archive restoration expert on these models. Yeah. So he is doing the restoration on these things, from everything from, I have to think if I can say this or not.
Probably not.
I think we know. It's okay.
I think we know.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not. We already know you can't say that. So
yeah,
Don told us.
But he's doing. What's amazing is because of his work with the Smithsonian, with him and Bill and Kim, Bill George and Kim Smith, when they did the restoration work on the original Enterprise. They learned so much about archival restoration, and some of it's, like, in my mind, batshit crazy. Like the paints that they use, they're not allowed to use the original paints because whatever they fix, they cannot. They can't use cyanoacrylic glue to put something back on. They have to use something that is removable in the future.
Yeah.
Same thing with the paints. The paint has to be removable on the given substrate that it's on.
Yeah.
So it's really, really specific and very, very laborious work. And John's so good at it. He's the fastest model maker I know.
Not to mention documentation for it all too.
Exactly.
No, I get frustrated trying to fix my own models when I've knocked a part off the shelf or something like that.
I fly to Texas to fix models, so
Yeah.
I flew down, Sean. I flew down to Michael's house down in Texas to fix his medical frigate that somebody didn't mount very well and landed on the floor.
Is it a studio scale?
Yeah, it's studio scale. Yeah, it was smashed pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael, that sounds horrible.
Man, I came home one late evening and wanted to tour into the studio gallery just for a minute, and it just kind of was like, wait, what is that? And it was just. Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
But I will tell you, I know all you guys. I'm the only one, in these pictures that isn't. I can't say I'm like the George Lucas guy that this is what I see, this is what I want done kind of guy. Right. But when somebody like Chris can come in and take a studio scale model that obviously doesn't come with instructions, and obviously he knows the kit bash parts and stuff. I mean, literally, I'm telling you, there was hundreds and hundreds of parts that he had to ID to put them back on this deal. And in 4.5 days, it was amazing. I mean, from
Nice.
LED, from the light bulbs, hanging out of this thing. I mean, I was sick as a dog,
Wow.
$100,000 model on the ground in pieces. And
Yeah.
I was done. I was done with studio models, never again, so, and I back in it hardcore now, thanks to
Chris. Do me a favor, Michael, break it again so I can come down and fix it again.
Oh, break an X-Wing.
I'll do it this time, Michael.
Yeah, right. Sounds good, John. So Sean, have you seen Dolly lately, or have you talked to him in a bit?
I personally, actually, let's see. When was the last time I saw Steve?
Because I know he's kind of low key in the model stuff.
Yeah, he's very low key about things. He came to the model shop reunion last fall, and I have a feeling he will be there again this year. Steve, do you have the picture, Chris, of Steve and I in Uptown with the DeLorean? I forget if that's in there.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
No, I love Steve. He's so amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, very, very gentle man.
All these guys know already, but just I'm not to bore everybody, but recently when I got to meet him, that's when I met John Goodson, was with him at his storage, and I had purchased this huge ship from him from Men in Black. And
you're Michael.
I'm the guy. Yeah. So anyway, so you know what he gifted me, right?
Yes.
I want you to know, keep the Men in Black ship. I'll take this. I mean, I never in a million years. He didn't even know what big Battlestar Galactica fan I was.
Oh.
And I just have been just like, I couldn't even. When I saw that thing, he's like, it's not much. He just gave me this little box, and it was.
Oh man.
I was so grateful. I teared up, actually. Kind of weirdo, I know, but
it's pretty awesome.
No, I can't tell you how many times I tear up around these guys whenever we're all hanging out. It's like I said, I found my tribe, and for here it is 27, 28 years now, and I still get in the room with them and have an imposter syndrome feeling.
Yeah, so does everybody know your story? I'm sorry.
We were just talking earlier about how even just some of them commenting on Nerf herders, like today, Bill George commented. Somebody asked what the the
TJO. Well, the marking on the beaming.
And I didn't even know what that was, and he popped on and gave a comment and told us exactly what it was. Lauren comments on the group a lot too, and it's like just so cool that these guys are actually still involved and commenting in the group.
Chris and I were talking, exactly that it's evolved from, we could just be a bunch of geeks talking in a group, but imagining what was actually done. But we have Sean and Bill and other people actually involved, telling us how it actually was. We're not guessing.
But when you speak to John Goodson and yourself, Sean, and Bill George, you in your mind you have them as these huge celebrities that that's so important in the modeling world. But when you start talking to you guys, you're just so down to earth, and you just chat and just
like us.
Well, I mean, we are. Here's the thing: is we'd show up for work at 8 o'clock in the morning, start working our buns off, and get as much done as we possibly could. And then by 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, we'd hop in our cars and leave. And then we get down close to shoot day, and we're doing 10, 12, 14 hours down there, sometimes around the clock. But, we were in a union, we're making a paycheck, and we just happen to be doing the things that we love to do. And I think that the people that stuck around were the ones that just really, really, really focused on the fact that, guess what? I'm special. I'm special in all the world because I get to do what I want. And not because I'm a special person and I can make these models and everything. No, that's bullshit. Mark Anderson told me when I first did a tour of ILM, when I was bartending at Jay Friendly's, and I go through, and Mark told me, he said, Sean, I have access to the best model builders in the world. They want to work here. He goes, the first thing I see is how well they get along with others.
Yeah.
He goes, because I can take a person who's average or even good and sit them down next to a Bill George, a Lauren Peterson, a Steve Gawley. And if they get along with those guys, then they can become absolutely exceptional.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's what it takes. And he goes, the other part is the sharing. Too many people and I've faced this on every aspect of the film business, is that until the guys and gals would get around 63, they didn't start divulging their secrets and their knowledge of the intimate details. They'd have a thing that only they could do, and they kept it that way so that they keep on getting hired.
Right.
There was none of that. No, excuse me. There was very little of that at ILM. Very, very little. Everybody was very, very willing to share the knowledge that I saw.
Right.
I heard there were some things in the past, but that wasn't a predominant feature.
Right. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about this Falcon?
The Solo Falcon.
Like, wow, I love that. I was blown away.
So this one, we got approached by ILM publicity, and Solo was going to be coming out and everything like that. And as you are probably aware, the majority of the Falcon imagery in the movie was CG. Yeah. They had gone up to the ranch. They had LiDAR scanned the whole entire damn thing. They had taken paint gradients off of it and everything. And then they built this newer Falcon on top of the old one. And so what happened was that during The Force Awakens, hold on a second here. Rogue One. What happened was that Lucasfilm or ILM got approached by Nissan, and they approached Nissan, one of the two, and somebody said, hey, it would be a great idea if we had a Star Wars tie-in with Rogue One and the Nissan Rogue. Mm-hmm. And they released a whole shitload of Nissan Rogues that were Star Wars themed. And then there was a big giveaway for one that was totally tricked out and everything like that.
And they got helmets too with those.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Nissan saw the sales of its Nissan Rogues go through the frickin' roof after this promotional event from Star Wars people. And a lot of people would take their Rogue and turn it into something. I saw one of them up here that was black, but then it had all these pinstripes and everything like that, and made it look like a TIE fighter. Right. It was like, wow, that's pretty badass. Yeah. But so anyway, what happened was that other companies were quickly realizing the product tie-ins that could happen. So with Solo, and that was the working title of the damn thing, believe it or not, somebody decided, hey, let's get in touch with Solo Cups. And they said, yeah, I want you. Basically, they came to us and they said, we want a Falcon built entirely out of Solo Cups. Oh. And that wound up having many, many iterations of conversations, most of which revolved around me going, but a Solo Cup is 0.002 to 003 styrene. Yeah. I can't make a big one. It will fall the fuck apart. Right. Yeah. Besides, how am I going to take what is ostensibly the most valuable asset in movie history, that being the image of the Millennium Falcon, and keep it the Falcon, at the same time doing what these other people want, which is they want it made of Solo products, so they want to see Solo products on it. And I was just like pulling my hair out going, oh my God, okay, first and foremost, we can't do anything bigger than the original 5-foot Falcon. obviously it would be longer than the original one.
Yeah.
But I should say 4-foot Falcon. We all refer to it as a 4-foot because that's the diameter of the disc.
The disc.
The fans were the ones that called it a 5-foot. But anyway, because of the extended nose and everything like that, we're like, okay. And I said, listen, we need to build it like the OGs did. We need to create a wood structure to attach all the acrylic to. We have to put a pipe system in it so that it can be displayed, and it will support itself. And I convinced them that we would make the model, photograph it throughout the whole entire history of making the model, and but it would be entirely clad in Solo products. And the two compromises I made, and they actually worked out well. Oh, and then the other thing is Solo comes to us and goes, and look at our new Solo cups. They're square.
Oh boy.
You're kidding me, right? So anyway, Todd and I got together, and we were, the big thing is that I saw this having the potential to turn into a county fair style entry that went wrong.
Yeah.
Because how do you tie the two of them together? Right. But I was able to use Solo plates for the flat sections, and I created the cups. The wild part about it, scaled out at this size, the opening of the Solo cups at the top of them, they are exactly the same exact size as the engine vents on the 5-foot Falcon.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just worked out perfectly.
Then
I stuck a little lid. I took one of the cups, cut it off, stuck it down inside it, and then I stuck a clear lid on top of it. And then you could pull it out and use it as a drink holder if you wanted to.
So what do they do with this?
So this is apparently on display at the Solo Cup factory in the main lobby.
I love it like this with the acrylic and the wood frame structure.
I was about to say, I love the fact that you kept it original with a wooden frame, just like the original.
Yeah.
It just made sense. The nice part about it is that we didn't have to have pattern makers, cut each piece laboriously. We had the laser cutter, so I was able to cut, laser cut out everything really, really specifically. Yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah. And so the big compromise for me was the landing gear. I did the 5-piece landing gear just as Solo cups that I filled with foam because they would have crushed under the weight of the thing.
Yeah.
But there's a whole video. There it is. Oh yeah, there you go.
There's a video. I'll have to check.
Yeah, there's a whole video of it, the making of and the unveiling of and everything like that.
I liked that show. That was a good show, the Star Wars show.
Isn't it still on?
No. Well, yeah, some other chick has it, but it's nothing like it used to be.
Oh, okay.
Are there any pictures of it? More pictures of it being built? Like,
I have hundreds.
Oh, you gotta send me some.
Hundreds.
You gotta send me some.
Because we had to document every aspect of it, and sometimes when you're taking photos, you're like, that one doesn't look too great in retrospect.
Click on that one, Aaron.
This guy?
There we go. Yeah, that's the one I want to see. Now, did you use the same measurements as the original 5-foot Falcon? Or?
Oh, yeah. We were actually, I can say this now. We were actually given the digital assets from ILM. And what I found was fascinating when we were pulling pieces off to get scale measurements, because it had all been LiDAR scanned. So everything was very, very precise. And it was at that time that I found out the bottom saucer was actually 1/8 of an inch less shallower than the top section.
Interesting. Right.
Yeah. So, but I figure that's just age. That's just compression.
Possibly. Yeah.
Came down.
Yeah.
Is that model in good shape right now? The original 5-foot, is it pretty good shape?
It's in fantastic shape. John's working on it, but it's in fantastic shape.
Man, that's awesome.
It's and to see all the model signatures on it, right to my filmer, for ESB when he put the 5 landing gear or the 2 extra landing gear pads in. But so we were able to pull apart the studio computer asset. And what was crazy is you'd pull panels off, and the panels underneath were of the studio scale model, because they were just layering things on top, so there was shit buried, and we were finding it all. We're like, whoa!
Wow, that's
so
impressive.
yeah, it is as accurate as you can make it, as far as the overall shape and size and everything like that, to the original studio scale.
Yeah, we'll have to get those sizes from you, because John and I are planning. Like, I have shells and stuff. I'm getting ready. In a year or so, when my kid moves out, I'm going to build one. So we'll have to talk.
That's my ultimate goal, to have one of those, a 5-foot Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an impressive model.
What a cool project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that having that laser cutter, though, made life so much easier, because, for instance, by my right hand with the X-Acto blade in it, I'm resting it along that nose piece, that raised nose piece that goes down. So the long section that's just underneath my hand, to where it meets the dish, that's a straight edge, no biggie, and they're beveled too, of course.
Yeah.
But the minute it got to the dish, it had this changing profile, because it's going up over a dome at an angle.
Yeah.
And to have done that by hand would have been so laborious. But this one, we were able to cut out the pieces on the laser cutter and be like, hey, look at that, it fits.
It's Legos.
Fantastic.
I love my laser cutter. I talk about it all the time. I use it all the time. I mean, most of my sail barge over there is being built by the laser cutter. So,
well, Chris, you were just showing me you were cutting out your pergola for the top.
Yeah, I was cutting out just a pergola for the right above Java. So, love it.
Yeah.
Everybody should have one.
But yeah, we were, as a side note on this, we are in Uptown model, the original Uptown model of ILM, and Todd and I are just working on this thing by ourselves. There was another gentleman in that had pulled apart the computer files and everything like that, Chris. And but Todd and I were solely responsible for the building. And every now and then we just look across and go, dude, we're building a 5-foot Falcon in the original Uptown model. And then I called up Lauren. I'm like, hey, you want to come on by? And so we had him redo some of the pictures from the original Van Nuys facility to this one and everything. It was great. And then when we unveiled it, we had Bill George, Lauren Peterson, Steve Gawley. I'm sorry, not Steve. Steve wouldn't come. Charlie Bailey, Pete Ronzani. I mean, and to see those guys and the expressions on their face, it was just, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I actually like the Solo Falcon. I don't know why. I mean,
I like it.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Well, it's funny because when they saw it in red, a bunch of the people from ILM went, oh my God, that's what the Falcon should look like. It looks like a Ferrari. That's what it should look like.
I didn't think of that, but now you're right. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool picture of it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the video, there's another cool picture of Charlie and Lauren and Pete and Bill standing by it. Yeah, in there, and towards the end of it, it's really cool.
The nose cone on it, Sean. That's the cup, isn't it? Yes.
It's two cups.
Did you have to scale that up, or did that work?
No, it's actually 2 cups. And what I did was I cut out the bottom section of it, which, as I said, was square. Right. And I joined 2 cups together because the minute you cut out the bottom, and then a slit down the side, the cylinder doesn't have any structure. So I was able to expand it out, and then use a green lid, one of the green butyl lids that they had for it. Yeah, and I had to cut all the windows by hand, and that was a pain in the ass. Especially on the 003 styrene.
Yeah, but suddenly a crack happens and one of the frames is gone. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It was. But yeah, it worked out perfectly for that. So
I'll have to watch that video.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Send me that link, and I'm gonna watch that.
yeah, you see the engine deck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a cool feature.
That's fun.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good spot for us to jump off.
Alrighty.
This was an excellent show. This was an incredible show.
Yeah.
Right on.
We will definitely have to get you on again. And hey, if you want to be a regular on the show, you're more than welcome to hop on anytime you want to.
I'm not working at the moment.
No, I remember you said something. You might be doing might be going back to Lucasfilm, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything's up in the air right now.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
So.
Yeah. But
I also have my job application into the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. So go figure.
Okay. Well, yeah, this was a great show. I want to thank you very much for hopping on with us.
Thank you, Sean.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Cheers,
thank
you
Can't
guys.
wait to hang out with you again next year at Wonderfest for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And thanks, Mike. Thanks, Michael, for joining us.
Absolutely. Sorry I was a little late. Didn't mean to be disrespectful that way. And Sean, it was a pleasure to meet you for sure.
Pleasure to meet you as well. It's good to put a face with a name.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Oh, that Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
The minute he said and Men in Black, I went, oh, I know you.
I just want to say something, and it's kind of, I don't even know what I'm going to tell you guys because I haven't told anybody this. Even the wife doesn't even really know yet, but we've acquired $1 million worth of property next to the Dark Side Brick Oven Pizza Company within the last month. And we are going to build, and I've been, we're all getting a little older. And, I was even, the last time I even kind of text John, I was just talking about, I'm outgrowing. I've got a 5,000 square foot gallery here at the house, and Chris has seen it with all the models and everything. And as I get older, kind of like what Gus and Steve and all them, I'm sure Steve goes through the thought process of, when something happens to me, God forbid, are people going to still be able to see this stuff archived or, where they can visit it? But long story short, we're looking at the possibilities of us creating a really fancy museum to where people could still come to the restaurant. We've got people that are coming in from California that are making the trip just to come to our restaurant. It's unbelievable what's been happening. We're so blessed. But to say that, to be able to have, after the Predator theme sets open in November, we're going to open up the grand opening when the new Predator movie's theatrical release, Badlands, and we're going to open up the Predator themed lounge. But this next year, I've considered going ahead and creating a museum there where we could have nothing but studio scale models and a really nice walkthrough and, keep this alive. It's the people like Chris and John and Eaton and all these guys that are creating this stuff. And it's people like you, Sean. I mean, seeing all these people, I'm sure it's huge because you're seeing this stuff continue, with all the CT, all the, these nerd balls that know these kit bashed parts that I know, Sean, a lot of times you guys don't even know that stuff. They can teach you guys sometimes, but that being said, though, I'm really looking forward to, we're looking at a life-size X-Wing right now that's coming out of another museum, and it's very legit. And so that being said, we're going to have to create maybe a Dagobah life-size set. And, so stay tuned is what I'm saying.
Colorado?
Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Texas. It's in a little town of Bernie, outskirts of San Antonio, Texas.
Go check out. Go get some pancakes when you're there too.
Okay. No. I apologize. The full size X-Wing, is it coming out of Colorado?
Oh, it is not.
Okay.
Ohio. It's in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do believe so. Was it made over in Germany?
Well, actually, that I'm not sure about. It's all steel. They did the TIE Fighter.
Oh,
they did the X1. But this is the first time I've ever seen. They reached out to me, and it's not going to be a secret. But we're in negotiations right now. But
fantastic.
They reached out to me, but then now that I found out that they're reaching out to other people too. But my whole deal was, well, maybe we could create, because I was looking before doing a Back to the Future DeLorean on the outside of our restaurant.
Nice.
But then we thought, man, wouldn't it be great if we could do a ship style? But this particular ship that we're talking about is way too heavy because it's solid steel.
Right, right.
But but it is so legit from the cockpit, so people can get in it, and you don't have to worry about wear and tear. It's not like an original prop piece.
Right,
So,
right.
So we'll know something hopefully within the next 2 months.
We can flesh that out a lot more on one of the shooting the ships.
Yeah,
we'll get into that deeper next time.
Yeah, sounds really good. Yeah, sorry to babble about that, but I'm really, when he brought up the museum, that this obviously won't be a traveling museum, but I've been thinking of ways to be able to create this stuff where other people can see it and not worry about them coming out to my house. It's kind of outside,
and that's what Steve deals with because it's right next to his house.
Yeah.
In a residential area.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But again, Sean, thank you, and all you guys, Aaron. For sure, Sean, and of course, Chris. Thank you for doing what you guys do.
All right, brother. With that, let's wrap it up. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk a little bit afterwards, but I'm gonna end the stream, and we'll have you definitely on again, Sean.
That'd be great. I'd love to
come on and talk about models. Like we do things. We actually go on and look at the models that our members on Facebook. We have a special show where we just go and highlight their work, so
that's
try to keep
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
By the way,
Wednesdays. Yeah.
Aw.
Prerequisite kitten.
I've got one the same age.
Yeah. I've got 11 of those damn things.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
All right. See everybody later, and we will have more shows coming up soon. I'm gonna try to get some. Well, we're gonna try to do some individual models, like we did with the X-wing, and hopefully ATST.
The model highlights.
Yeah, the model highlights. So, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.